What's up guys, Ninja Cat, and welcome back. We are on our second part of our Fortnite tips and tricks series tutorial, and today we're going over Zone Wars, and well, not just only Zone Wars, these strats you'll be using in every single build fight you're in a pub, in an arena, maybe in box fights, I don't know, because these are mostly offensive and defensive building strats that you're going to use. Whether that involves, being aggressive ramp rush or predicting your opponents, tunneling and tarping, you're going to want to learn all this stuff because this will most likely make you a much better Fortnite player. So, before we start though, be sure to join my Discord server. It's in the link in the description. It always is, and it would mean a lot if you get partnered because we are, by my calculations, 93 members away from getting partnered, and it would mean a lot if we get partnered. So please join the server. It's in the description below, and I am active in the server. You guys want to talk to me, and I always will be in that server. So yeah, I don't know what you guys are doing. You guys probably don't have Discord, so my answer is get Discord and get in. Anyways, let's get into the video. Okay, so our first tip in Zone Wars is probably one of the most biggest and important tips you'll ever want to know about if you don't know already, and this will definitely help you a lot with rotations because Zone Wars is all about rotations because there's a fast moving storm. And well, there are enemies rushing you and above you and all around you, all the time when you're playing Zone Wars. So we're gonna teach you all the tunneling strats, and it's not just tunneling. There are different types of tunneling, and they all have different names. So first off, we have the side-to-side tunneling, which is a classic tunnel that you see pros like Mongrel use. And speaking of Mongrel, go to ProGuys.com, and you guys can learn from all the better pros, and they know much more than me, and I mean much more. So again, I'll link their channels in the description below. And again, I'm not, I'm just one of the best Switch players. I'm not as good as those guys. So if you want more tips, then go to those guys for help. Anyways, so the other type of tunneling that I prefer to use because it's faster, but it still works efficiently, and it's still somehow secure, but I prefer tunneling better. It's more secure. And so tarping, basically you place a wall in front of you, you place a floor, and you place some ramps. And by the way, not all these clips are mine because I'm just trying to, sometimes I'm gonna find some clips from actual pros, like on Clicks or Booga or Mongrel, and see, so you guys can see how what they do in situations like arena where the zone's moving and there's enemies all around them. So tarping and side-to-side tunneling is two different types of tunneling, but Mongrel is probably one of the best pros in the world. They use side-to-side tunneling, which is more secure, more room, and well, tarping you have less space, but it's still efficient, but it's faster than side-to-side tunneling. Uses less mats for sure. And in arena, in the end game, you're gonna need a lot of mats because a lot of people run into the problem where they don't have enough mats in the end game, and it's game over for them. But if you guys at the end game, you're obviously gonna try to tarp because you want to conserve your mats. But for tunneling, you're probably gonna do that somewhere around mid game if you're pressured by a lot of third parties around you. And tunneling also gives you a it's easier to defensively attack from inside the tunnel because there's it's like lots and lots of 1x1s connected together to make a tunnel, and therefore that makes it easier for you guys to just edit part of the box out and then kick a shot at someone. And there's also straight tunneling, as I'm showing here in this clip. Not a lot of people use this because well, they like to go side to side to make it so when enemies drop inside the tunnel somehow, it takes them a while to somehow get an angle on the person tunneling, which is just a smart idea. So straight tunneling sometimes works in in a 1v when there are 5 people inside the end game, and that usually works because you'll probably notice when they're dropping inside your tunnel. And straight tunneling also uses less mats than side-to-side tunneling, but it does use more than tarping, so I still prefer tarping, and because tarping is much easier and uses less mats, and you see me use it in Zone Wars all the time. So these are the 3 types of tunneling that you're going to use, and they're going to be one of those useful tips to remember in arena or Zone Wars or anything, because these will help you a lot with your rotations, and they're offensively and defensively really good tips. So do practice all of these tunnels in your creative time, because again you're gonna want to warm up your fingers and just warm up your skills before you play an actual game of arena or even a pub, you're gonna want to practice all of these tunnels, whether they're hard or not. You know, side to side tarping and straight tunneling. You're gonna use all of these at some point, and the only way to get better at these tunnelings are, you know, by tunneling. So practice all of these for about 5-10 minutes before every game you play, and you'll definitely be proud of yourself when you notice a change. And I guarantee you, if you do it the right way and practice all the time, then you'll definitely see a difference in your gameplay, and you'll definitely be getting better, and you'll, you know, feel proud of yourself. Alright, so this next part of the chapter, or well, the video, is a pretty overlooked strat, and a lot of people don't use it, but you know, it's really underrated, and it's very, very overlooked all the time. So in a build fight and in zone wars, you're definitely going to be using this a lot, and it's more of the defensive side than the offensive side. So basically, this is called the high walls, and whenever you're in a build fight, if you're going up and your enemy is going up and you're getting closer and closer to your enemy, you're going to be placing high walls just like this, shown on the clip, to block the enemy shots if they ever want to take an early shot at you when your builds intersect like an X. So the high walls are actually really, you know, really useful to block shots, and offensively to gain height on your opponents. Once you place the high walls, you can actually just do whatever you want. You can just ramp up, ramp over them, cone over them, or you know, do whatever. But the high walls are mostly used to just block your opponent's shots, and you know, plainly just gain height as well. So the high walls, again, like, you know, if there's only 2 strats for them, they're going to be really overlooked, which is why I recommend you guys to do it a lot. Also, try placing walls above your ramp and editing them, you know, as if you're doing a triple edit without the cone and floor. This strat will actually help you a lot, because sometimes you want to edit a high wall, and you know, once you ramp up, you edit the high wall, and then you know, probably do whatever after that. Maybe crank up, maybe try to cone your enemy or something like that. But this is going to be a pretty short chapter, but again, it's a really overlooked strategy, so do practice this one as well. Alright, so our next part is on ramp rushing, which is obviously always offensively playing against people and W keying. And there's a lot of stuff that you know, that goes to ramp rushing, and it's not just placing a ramp, going up, and keep placing ramps, you know, doing that, and you know, that's what noobs do, and that's what we're not trying to do. So, ramp rushing. Now, a lot of people still don't know about this, and I'm sure a lot of you guys already know about this, because you know, you should know this if you're, you know, this ramp rushing is really not that hard, and it's not that uncommon, so listen up. Ramp rushing is when you place a ramp, a floor, and a wall. Well, not in that order. You place a floor, then a ramp, then a wall. Otherwise, if you press the wall first, then the wall's going to be in your way. You don't want that. So you want to place a floor, ramp, and then a wall, and then a ramp below those two. And so we call that quad ramping. It's much stronger than just a skinny little ramp ramping up, and then everyone can just shoot you out in like 1 second. So it's definitely much more useful and less newbie, if I may. So ramp rushing is actually really useful when you're trying to gain height or anything. You've seen people quad ramp up to, you know, do the memes, and you know, they quad ramp up to the moon or something to do the memes like laser beam. They've done that before. And you know, they might not be doing that for a competitive reason, just for, you know, comedic purposes, but you know, it's still the correct way to ramp rush and quad ramp. So yeah, this is another overlooked strategy, but it is not that uncommon. The high walls are, you know, much more overlooked, and yeah, this is probably going to be another short chapter because, well, it's just plain quad ramping, and you know, most people do the triple ramping, which is also good because it's just the floor and the ramp and the wall without the bottom ramp. But that's still good because, well, they're not going to be able to shoot you out that easily, because, you know, it's better than a skinny little ramp all by itself. And personally, I do a lot of triple ramping instead of quad ramping, because quad ramping sometimes takes a lot of practice, and it's, you know, again, keep practicing all the quads and the triples, and they both work efficiently well. And you know, although you'll somehow, you know, still get shot at the end, triple ramping and quad ramping are still really useful, and you know, it's makes you look less newbie. Take my advice, don't use a skinny little ramp, right? Alright, so we are finally on our final chapter of the video, and our last tip is actually probably one of the most hardest to learn, but also the most useful tip to learn, and you know, you're gonna use all these again in a build fight, but this one will definitely get you more, get you to, like, you know, win more fights, and you know, probably get more kills, and you know, up your confidence a little bit more, so you don't have to be a little bush camper. So basically, a lot of pros have to learn this as well, and you see it all the time with Mongrel with the pre-firing, and by now you probably know what I'm talking about. It's, you know, just predicting every enemy's move. Now, in this clip, you see that there's an enemy boxed up, and you know, I'm pressuring him, and you know, I've already gotten height on him, and you know, I think he's low, I'm not sure, but the thing is, this is Zone Wars, and the zone is closing in on him, and he's gotta escape or something. So my prediction was that he's gonna tunnel out. So I coned and floored him in the front. Well, that sounds weird. Coned, floored him. Okay, I coned him right in front of his box, and just like I predicted, he's gonna tunnel out, and he's going to go straight to zone like that. Except he won't be making it there. You know, he's not quite there yet, because right before he can make another tunnel, I double edit down through the cone and the floor, and then once he's trapped in his own box, I couldn't one-pop him with a gold spaz for some reason, but with the SMG I was able to finish him off, and well, he had nothing else to do because he kept missing all his shots, and well, he had nowhere to go. So this is actually a really good prediction, and I'm obviously not trying to give it to myself, but you know, a lot of pros do this as well. When, you know, you gotta be aware of all your surroundings, and that way you can actually predict well, and you can predict much better. So with the zone, the zone was closing in on him, and obviously he's gonna tunnel out. So this was an easy prediction, but also a really smart one, and you know, it was really effective. So you're gonna use this, like, you know, this type of prediction in, you know, Zone Wars and Arena, and you know, a lot more build fights that, you know, in pubs where the zone is coming, and well, in the end game, this will be really useful, and you know, this is why this prediction will be useful. Try to 1v1 some of your friends that are better than you, because if you're gonna 1v1 people that are, you know, worse than you, you're not gonna get any better. You're just gonna feel good, and not in a good way, because you know, they're just newbie. So finding better players, you can actually, you know, try to have predictions on them, you know, maybe learn from them. And you know, when I warm up before Arena against my friends, well, I'm gonna try to use predictions on them, and you know, I try every single new strat that I learn. You know, I'm still learning. I'm not as good as Clicks, I'm not as good as Mongrel, and I'm certainly not the best Switch player, but I'm just one of the best. All right, we actually might have a Switch Olympic against Kui at Rubik's Tetra, maybe later. I don't know. I messaged them on Twitter, and they haven't responded yet. But you know, there's been a big debate between which one of us is the best Switch player, and you probably saw the conversation on Twitter if you look at it. You know, so. Anyways, pre-firing is also another form of predicting, you know, your enemy shots, and I practice my pre-fire some of the times, and basically, if you don't know what pre-firing is, first of all, never mind. If you don't know what pre-firing is, basically it's literally in the name. You just take a shot and hope for the best that it hits. All right, it's like a prediction shot. You predict that they're going to make an edit, and if you're lucky, the shot actually hits. So just pre-fire every once in a while. Don't pre-fire every single time, because you know, you're not gonna hit it every single time. This is like a lottery, right? You're not gonna hit the lottery every time, and you know. But pre-firing is also a really useful skill to learn, and you know, do it every once in a while, because you never know when you're gonna get that shot off. Just like you try to snipe someone out of the sky, what if that actually hits, right? Just take your chances. So yeah, pre-firing, and you know, using all your surroundings to predict your enemy's, you know, next move. And also, when someone's editing to the side, and you know, when they're rotating out of their box to the side, you can always predict that. Place walls to the side simply, and you know, you already got one piece of their box, you know, yours, and then you can edit it, and well, it's an easy shot off of them. So yeah, this will wrap up our video of Zone Wars tips, and I'll think about what's the next tutorial it's going to be on. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.